Have a nice day, students. Welcome to Conceptual Chemistry. In the previous section, we discussed the chemical properties of alkaline earth metals, continuation of S block elements. In that, we are going to continue general characteristics of compounds of the alkaline earth metals. Alkaline earth metals, it will form compounds mostly ionic, but the ionic nature it will be less compared to the alkali metals. The reason is in group 1, the size it will be more. The atomic size it will be more when compared to the group 2, because we know when you move from left to right the size it will be decreases. When the size is less, it will have a high nuclear charge. Due to high nuclear charge, it will have high polarizing power. Due to high polarizing power, it will form covalent bond, not ionic bond. So group 2 elements not only forming ionic compound, it will form covalent compound also. For that reason they mentioned here, the alkaline earth metals it will be less ionic compared to the alkali metals. This is the reason, because the size it will be smaller compared to the alkali metals. And oxides and other compounds of beryllium and magnesium, it will be covalent. Mostly beryllium and magnesium it will form covalent. The reason is same reason. The size is small, nuclear charge it will be more, and it will have high polarizing power. If it is high polarizing power, it will form the covalent compound. But when we move down the group, metals like after magnesium, beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium and barium, this and all, it will lose electron, and due to the electropositive nature it will produce the ionic compounds. Oxides and hydrates. Alkaline earth metals, when it burn in oxygen, it will form monoxide. Except the beryllium oxide, all other oxide, it will have a rock salt structure. The meaning of rock salt structure is ionic crystal. Beryllium oxide, as already we discussed, again the same point it will be repeatedly it will come. What does that repeated point mean? Beryllium oxide, the size is small, due to that it will have high polarizing power. Small size or high nuclear charge, it will have high polarizing power. High polarizing power means it will form covalent compound, not the ionic compound. Due to that reason, the beryllium oxide, except the beryllium oxide, all other oxide it will be rock salt structure. Rock salt structure here means ionic crystal. Then the beryllium oxide it will be covalent in nature. The enthalpy of formation of the oxide are quite high. The reason is the size is small, so the enthalpy formation also it will be high, and it will be very stable to heat. It will not decompose that much easily. And beryllium oxide it is amphoteric. We know what is the meaning of amphoteric. A substance which can react both with the acid and base. It is said to be amphoteric. And other elements, when you move down the group, other elements, other oxides, it will be ionic in nature. All the oxides except the beryllium oxide, it will be basic in nature. Except beryllium oxide, all of the other oxides, it will be basic in nature. And they react with water to form a sparingly soluble hydroxides. The meaning of sparingly, lessly soluble, it will not be fully soluble. Like sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, it will be completely soluble. So we can call that as a alkali also. But here sparingly soluble. So the alkaline earth metals, the hydroxide, it will be sparingly soluble. So the metallic oxide, when it reacts with the water, it produces hydroxides. Here the M it represents the alkaline earth metals. The solubility, thermal stability and basic character it will be increases when we move down the group. The reason how the solubility will be increases, first we will take it. Solubility it will be increases. The reason is the lattice energy decreases. The lattice energy decreases when you move down the group. Due to that the solubility it will be increases. Then go to the thermal stability. Thermal stability, how it will be increases? As the atomic number increases, the size it will be increases. As the size increases, the thermal stability it will be increases. Then basicity. So basicity if you means when you move down the group, it will liberate the hydroxide ion. So definitely the basicity also it will be increases. Alkaline earth metal hydroxides are less basic. Because it is not completely soluble, it is sparingly soluble. Due to that it will be less basic. Alkaline earth metals it will be less basic, and it will be less stable also. Then alkali metal hydroxides. Beryllium hydroxide it will be amphoteric. Beryllium hydroxide is amphoteric. Not only beryllium oxide, beryllium hydroxide also it is amphoteric. So this also it will react both the base and acid. So the beryllium hydroxide, when it react with the base, it produce tetrahydroxoberylate. That is the full name. In the book it mentioned shortly. Tetrahydroxoberylate ion, or you can say berylate ion. When it react with the base, when it react with the acid, here, it will form a complex tetrahydroxoberyllium dichloride. Due to this two reaction, it will be a proof that beryllium hydroxide it will be amphoteric in nature. Then halides, alkaline earth metals, how the halides it will be? Except from beryllium, for beryllium halides, all other halides in alkaline earth metals are ionic. The reason, again the same reason. Why the beryllium it will not be ionic means the same reason, small size, it will have a high polarizing power. If it is have a high polarizing power, then it will form covalent compound. The same reason you want to remember. Again and again it will be repeated. Apart from that, all other alkaline earth metals it will be ionic in nature. Beryllium halides, it will, if it is covalent, mean mostly covalent compound, it will be soluble in organic solvents. Generally covalent compound it will be soluble in organic solvents. Beryllium chloride it will have a chain structure. So this chain structure, how this chain structure it will be formed? For example, we know the valency for the beryllium it will be 2. So with the 2 valency, the 2 chlorine it will be joined. With the 2 valency, the 2 chlorine it will be linked. Okay, like this another beryllium also is there, and again another 2 chlorine. Okay, then again another 2 chlorine, 1 beryllium with the 2 chlorine. This you want to understand first. The valency for the beryllium it will be 2. Due to that, it will make bond with the 2 chlorine. Now what is happening is how this chain structure, how this big chain structure is forming. Now you can see, students. Here the chlorine it will have how much valence electron? 7 valence electron. Okay, the chlorine have 7 valence electron. In that 1 valence electron it is shared with the beryllium. Okay, and remaining how much it will be there? 6 valence electron. In that 6, the 2 it will be shared with the beryllium. So we can call that as a coordinate bond. So here also the same process. Here also the same process. The coordinate bond it will form. Here also it will be continued, and here also it will be continued. So the arrow mark it represents the coordinate bond. That means one atom it shares 2 electrons to make a bond with the another element. That we can call as a coordinate bond. Like this, a chain structure it will be formed. Now what is the chain structure you are seeing now? It will be like this only. It is formed in this manner. So this will be in the solid state. So this chain structure it will be present in the solid state. And the same this type of structure we are going to study in the p block element also for aluminum. Remember it. At the time I will say, I will ask. Then in vapor phase the beryllium chloride it will form a chloro-bridged dimer. It will form a chloro-bridged dimer. What is the meaning of chloro-bridged dimer? Means you can see this chlorine it will look like a bridge. Here how this will form? The same concept, students. Here also what is happening? The valency for the beryllium it will be 2. So here 1 chlorine, here 1 chlorine, for your understanding. Then again the same chlorine we are writing in that same manner. In the same manner we are writing here 1 chlorine and here 1 chlorine. Okay. Now what is happening means, here this chlorine it will form a coordinate bond with this beryllium, and this chlorine it will form a coordinate bond with this beryllium. Now you can see here how the chloro bridge. Now this chlorine acts as a bridge between the 2 beryllium. This chlorine acts as a bridge between the 2 beryllium. So it is called as a chloro-bridged dimer. So this will be happen in the vapor phase, and it will be dissociated at very high temperature like a linear monomer. Then salts of oxo acid, as we discussed in the alkali metals also, oxo acid, did you remember that? What is the meaning of oxo acid? The hydrogen, the acidic proton present in the hydroxyl group, that will be a oxo acid. Carbonates and alkaline earth metals are insoluble in water. Mostly carbonates it will be insoluble. In the alkaline earth metals it will be insoluble in water, and it will be precipitated. Suppose if it is soluble also, we can make it precipitate by adding sodium or ammonium carbonate solution. In the salt analysis we will do this. The solubility of the carbonates it will be decreases as the atomic number of the metal ion increases. So the solubility of the carbonates, because we know that what we know means the solubility, it will be decreases. The hydration enthalpy, what is the nature of hydration enthalpy? Did you remember that? Hydration enthalpy, at the top it will be more, that means size is less means it will be more. When you move down the group, the hydration enthalpy decreases. When you move down the group, hydration enthalpy decreases, that you want to remember. So here also the same thing, the solubility of the carbonates in water decreases as the atomic number of the metal ion increases, because when you move down the group, the atomic number of the metal ion increases. Then all the carbonates decompose, all the carbonates, it will be decomposed on heating to form, to give carbon dioxide and oxide. This you can take any example. I am taking calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate, when you heat, what will happen? This is a very branded reaction, you studied in the lower classes in the grade 10 also. When you heat the calcium carbonate, it will form calcium oxide with the liberation of carbon dioxide. And that only they are mentioning here, carbon dioxide and oxide. Then beryllium carbonate is unstable. Yeah, why beryllium carbonate is unstable? Again the same reason, students. The same concept will be keep on repeating. The same size, it will be small, so it will be very difficult to form. If it, even if it is form also, it will be unstable. So to keep it in the beryllium carbonate state, they will keep it in the atmosphere, carbon dioxide atmosphere, because more carbon dioxide that is there means then it will make the beryllium carbonate to stay for a long time. So the beryllium carbonate is unstable, so to keep it remain as a beryllium carbonate, they will keep it in the atmosphere of carbon dioxide. And thermal stability increases as the atomic size, that means cationic size increases, the size it will be more, then thermal stability it will be increases with increase in the cationic size. Then sulfates. The sulfates of alkaline earth metals are white solids. For example, if you see means, if you take, even if you go to the lab also, please check it out. Calcium sulfate, it is white in color. Barium sulfate, it is white in color. Magnesium sulfate, it is white in color. So all the sulfates of the alkaline earth metals, it will be white solids, and it will be stable to heat, because if you try to heat, it will not suddenly break, it takes more time. And the solubility, what will happen to the solubility? The solubility decreases from calcium sulfate to beryllium sulfate. This you know. What concept here you want to apply means hydration energy. You have a doubt. Now definitely in your mind one doubt would want to come. Sir, hydroxide, when you move down the group, the solubility increases, and you are saying sulfate, the solubility decreases. What is the meaning, sir? Did you remember that one concept I said to you when I discussed the hydroxide? In the hydroxide, when I discussed, I talk about the lattice energy. Lattice energy, when you move down the group, decreases. In that case, here what is happening? Hydration enthalpy. Here hydration enthalpy, when you move down the group, which will be more? At the top, hydration enthalpy, it will be more. At the top, hydration enthalpy will be more. At the bottom, hydration enthalpy less. At the bottom, hydration enthalpy less. So what will happen when you move down the group? The solubility, it will be decreases. That is the concept, and they explain the same concept in the statement also. The greater hydration enthalpies of beryllium and magnesium, it will overcome the lattice enthalpy, because the hydration enthalpy is greater. Due to that, it will overcome the lattice enthalpy and it will be soluble compared to the other sulfates. That is the reason. All other sulfates, the solubility, it will be decreases, because hydration enthalpy, it will be less. Okay. Then nitrates. The nitrates, first we discussed the hydroxide, then carbonates we discussed, then sulfate we discussed. This is the fourth one, nitrates. So nitrates are made by dissolution of carbonates in dilute nitric acid. The meaning is the nitrate of the alkaline earth metals, it is made by dissolving in the nitric acid. For example, in your book this reaction is not there, for your understanding I posted here. Calcium carbonate, when it reacts with the nitric acid, it will form calcium nitrate with the liberation of carbon dioxide. Whenever there is a carbon salt, it will liberate carbon dioxide, that you want to remember. Okay, then magnesium nitrate, it will crystallizes with 6 molecules of water. Magnesium nitrate, it will crystallizes with 6 molecules of water, whereas barium nitrate, it will crystallize anhydrous salt. The reason, this also you can say in your own, in your mind definitely you say this now. Magnesium nitrate, it will crystallize with 6 molecules of water, that is hexahydrate. The reason is magnesium, the size is small, hydration enthalpy it will be more, so it will be hydrated with the 6 molecule of water. That means the nitrate. The nitrate, it will be hydroxide with the 6 molecule of water. But here barium, it will be at the bottom of the group. Bottom of the group, the hydration enthalpy is very less, so it will not be hydrated. It will be anhydrous salt. Anhydrous salt means it doesn't have any water molecule. then it again show the decreasing tendency to form the hydrates. So when you move down the group, the forming of the hydrate, it will be decreases with increasing size and decreasing hydration enthalpy. The same the concept they explained here. Then all the nitrates, it will decompose on heating, students. That means whatever the M it present the nitrates like beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium. Whenever the nitrate, when you heat it, it will decompose to give nitrogen dioxide and oxygen with the formation of nitric oxide. So how the lithium nitrate, it will be when you heat the lithium nitrate, what will happen? We discussed in the alkali metals. Lithium oxide, the same process here also. Anomalous behavior of beryllium. Beryllium, now once you come to this title, what and all we discussed up to now, the same thing we want to put it again. Beryllium, it will have a exceptionally small atomic and ionic size. So due to that, what will happen means it will have a high ionization enthalpy. If the size is small, then it will have high ionization enthalpy. That means you can't remove the electron, outermost electron, that much easily. That only they are mentioning here. And the compounds which is formed, it will be covalent because high polarizing power. Due to that, it will form covalent and it will be get easily hydrolyzed. Why it is easily hydrolyzed? Because the hydration enthalpy, it will be more. Then beryllium, it does not exhibit coordination number more than 4. The reason the beryllium electronic configuration, did you remember? 1s2, 2s2, beryllium, it will be 4 na? So 1s2, 2s2. So only 4, the coordination number, it can use the S, 1s2, 2s2 only, because it doesn't have any d orbital. Due to the non-availability of the d orbital, the coordination number, it will not exist more than 4. The remaining members of the group, means like when you move down the group, magnesium, calcium, strontium, they have the d orbital and their coordination number, it will be more than 4 because it will use the d orbitals. So that is one more concept. The oxides and hydroxides of beryllium. The oxides and hydroxides of beryllium, unlike hydroxides of other element in the group, it will be amphoteric in nature. This also we discussed. Beryllium hydroxide, it will react with the acid and base and it will form berylate ion, like that, the same concept. And now we are going to discuss the diagonal relationship between the beryllium and aluminum. So how we discuss the diagonal relationship with the lithium and magnesium, like that here also beryllium and aluminum. The atomic radius of the beryllium is estimated at 31 picometer in charge per radius ratio, which will be close to the aluminum 3 plus ion. So this is the first similarity. Like aluminum, beryllium also, it is not readily attacked with the acids. Why it is not readily attacked with the acids means the reason, like aluminum, both beryllium and aluminum, it will form a protective layer. What is the protective layer means? Oxide layer, aluminum oxide and beryllium oxide. Once this oxide layer form, then it will not easily attacked by the acids. Then beryllium hydroxide, it will dissolve in excess of alkali. Excess of alkali means already we discussed that now. That means beryllium hydroxide, again what we are doing, we are treating with the base. That only you want to understand here. Excess of hydroxide, like that, excess of alkali, like that. Because we discussed in the amphoteric nature on equation, beryllium hydroxide when it reacts with the base, the same reaction they are explaining here. Beryllium hydroxide dissolved in excess of alkali to give tetrahydroxo berylate ion. Like that, aluminum also, it will form tetrahydroxoaluminate ion. This we will discuss in the p block element. The same concept we discuss in the p block element, because in the p block element aluminum will be there. Then the chlorides of both beryllium and aluminum have a chlorine bridged chloride structure. How we discuss now, one like this two beryllium, in between the two beryllium, a chlorine bridge, it will be there. Like that, aluminum also it will form. We are going to discuss the same thing. Like this aluminum also, it will form a chloro bridged structure. So that is also one similarity, diagonal relationship. And both the chlorides are soluble in organic solvents and it acts as a Lewis acid. We know what is the meaning of Lewis acid. Lewis acid is a substance which can accept a pair of electron. That is called as a Lewis acid. Okay. So both the aluminum chloride and beryllium, chloride will act as a Lewis acid, and it will be used as a catalyst in the Friedel gas reactions. Anhydrous aluminum chloride, you will discuss this, remember it in the higher classes. When you come to the 12th, even the 11th also, in the organic chemistry we will discuss hydrocarbon Friedel gas reaction. Anhydrous aluminum chloride we will use as a catalyst. So aluminum chloride, that we will use as a catalyst. Beryllium and aluminum ion have a strong tendency to form complexes. So what complex here it is forming means beryllium tetrafluoride, and here aluminum hexafluoride. In examination they will ask one question to you based on this. What they will ask means why beryllium it will form tetrafluoride and aluminum it will form hexafluoride. Like that, if they ask means, at the time you want to say beryllium it will form tetrafluoride. The reason, it doesn't have d orbital, absence of d orbital. Like that you can write it. So it can't extend the coordination number more than 4. But aluminum is not like that. Aluminum it will have d orbital, so it can extend and it will form the aluminum hexafluoride ion. So I finished with this concept, students, because after that all are deleted topics, so we don't need to discuss. If you like means share and subscribe. Thanks for watching, students.